Word. And I am. And he just described me in the opposite. Bizarro version of J-Steed.
It's that introverted, perverted youngin' from out that BX. J-Steed.
The extraordinary Robyn Stern.
And the problem solver. Mr. Every Night.
So, every night. Let's start it off right. I tried to write out for long. Notice, this is the ghetto lifestyle. Okay. Talk on it. I'm not gonna hold you.
Hey, what's going on? It's the dark-skinned marksman J-Steed, and I'm joined by...
Robyn Stern.
And if you notice, today we are without the problem solver, but we do have a special guest who is one of the legendary members of the Rat Pack Radio fold, Mr. Sin Damone. If you will, sir, please take a bow.
Yes, sir.
Let's applaud this man. It's been a while since we've seen him. So, as we said before, this is our special edition quarantine coronavirus episode or series. Let me say series, sorry. And yeah, Mr. Sin, hate to even put this news out there, but you actually had the coronavirus.
Yeah, that lets you know how serious it is, because you know, everybody else, your fans might know, but I'm a karate man, and karate man bleed on the inside. So when the karate man get something like coronavirus, is serious. Yeah, those. Well, first and foremost, being
Wait,
part
hold
of
on. Before we begin, sorry to cut you off.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling today? Are you good?
My body feels like I'm at 90%, so I would be on day. This would be like day 15, I believe, for me.
Okay.
This would be like day 15 for me.
All right. So before we get so deep into like the symptoms and how you felt and how you feel you may have contracted it, just to give some background on your, I guess your personal life. You work in a healthcare facility, right?
That's correct.
All
it's
right.
called the EVS, but most people know it as housekeeping.
Gotcha. All right. So now you were fortunate to actually go out on injured leave, or what did they call it for this took place?
This disability. You call it disability. It's disability. Right. It's disability.
Right. So you kept in contact with your coworkers and stuff. So could you give us some insight on what they saw while being on the front lines of this situation?
So the biggest part for everybody is lack of information. You know that the two biggest things are no information or disinformation. Not having information and the lack thereof, causes people to do irrational things. So not so much the staff, but people that are sick. When you work in a hospital, they teach you to have empathy at its highest, because when people are injured and sick, they don't always use their right mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's easy to relate to when somebody in your family is sick. Your child or your daughter, your son, your daughter, whoever, your child, family member, when they're sick and you can't do something, you feel you at your most vulnerable because you can't do anything. And that's the biggest part of this situation for a lot of people is the doctors can only go based on what they know. And that goes for anything in medicine. Medicine is based on what they know. And with this virus, there's a lot of people are learning on the go. Like, we're trained to do a lot of different things when it comes to protocol and germs and how to protect ourselves against germs. Right. But it caught wildfire so fast that like the things we wear, they're called PPEs, personal protection equipment. So robes, gowns, masks, goggles, all of those things of those nature. It happened so fast. Now we knew it was coming, but the way people started contracting things and started going to the hospital happened so fast. So they were literally running out of protective gear for the workers, like to protect themselves against the virus itself. And that's every hospital. So that was a tough thing to deal with. And you know, not everybody that works in the hospital, a lot of people that work in the hospital, they fit in the same categories. You know, the categories that they fit on, you know, young and the old people, like, you know, people in the 50s or 60s, they're most acceptable to fall ill to it when, especially when they have underlying diseases or ailments, you know. It's something that attacks your immune system and it weakens it through your respiratory system. So, you know, you got those people that are working or work in the hospital or that too. So if they don't have the things to protect themselves to work, how do you expect them to work? And that instills a fear in some of them. Some of them want to call out sick. They don't want to come to work. They're worried about bringing it back to their families. You know what I mean? There are many cases where in the beginning, there's several stories I've heard from friends where they were working with a patient and it's nobody's fault. It was just in the very beginning. Let's say the very beginning. Now it's a little bit different. But in the very beginning, where they worked with somebody and they didn't know they were positive. We're talking about for days on end. You're talking about being with somebody for like 3 days, and then you find out they're positive. You done went home, got on the train, or went back and forth, went to the store, did all these regular things, and you might have been positive, and you don't even know it. You get what I'm saying? So the lack of information from the people above, I can't even blame like on hospital administration. That literally just goes all the way back to the government not doing what they're supposed to do. And you know, all our checks and balances that we have for, you know, the states, every state controls what they do, but for something like this we need to have a universal guideline going back to the CDC. So everybody just went upon regular protocol to do things they do, and this is not regular protocol. Like, they're gonna change medical procedures, how we clean stuff, how we do things after this. Like, there's gonna be a lot of change that comes forward with this. And I know several people that have gotten sick. Myself, I got sick. How they would test on people, and to be honest with you, if I was not out on disability because of my injury, even though I might still be positive, the thing is though, is because they have a lack of healthcare workers, like I would have been cleared to go back to work as long as I wasn't portraying any symptoms like having a fever to a certain degree, and I'm coughing and things of that nature. So pretty much I would just put PPEs on to protect myself, that not infect the people, but still go to work, because there are tons of people who are either out, healthcare workers who are out now because they have it, or their family members have contracted it and they've got to quarantine themselves. You know, one of my coworkers, when it first happened, told me a story about somebody else getting it in the hospital. One of our other coworkers in another apartment, like, let's call it a nurse. The nurse got it, and you know, we all share common areas in the hospital. Like, we gonna eat, and this person was dealing with somebody who had it, and not to scare people, you know, they don't shout it out. Well, this person's infected, this person, and that person's infected. Yeah. But now we find out that this person's been with somebody infected, and they didn't communicate that early. Communication was bad in the beginning, but I will say it's getting better now. The stories that I hear are much better. I've had to go back to my job to see how things are set up, and it's different. Like I said, this is going to change all protocol for everything moving forward, for everybody, no matter what level of hospital you work in.
Got you. So let me ask, how do you think you contracted it since you were out of work?
You know what, though? I'm such a rational person. I don't know. Like, I've had to go to the hospital to, you know, give them paperwork and do things like that. And it could have been so much as, and the wild part about it is, like, because I work in the hospital, I'm over protective. I'm super conscious about washing my hands and touching things, and, you know, putting on gloves and doing things of that nature. Like, you know, I get on the nerve of some of my coworkers with it sometimes. and you know me though. It's like, so I don't know. Like I had to go shopping. I went food shopping. I wore a mask. I wore my gloves. When I get in my car, before I get in my car, I take things off. I put hand sanitizer on. Before this, when I come in the house, like when I work at the hospital and I change my uniform in the locker room, dogs, I Lysol all my stuff down. This is before all this stuff was happening. And I continue to do those things. I don't wear the same clothes to work. Like I change my clothes, I change the uniform. I don't wear the same shoes from the hospital to the house. Like I don't what they call cross-contaminate. So for that to be said, like for somebody who's like me who takes precaution and I still got it, what does that tell you?
Yeah, right. Where you take precaution.
Somebody could have can't.
You probably
I don't take the train. I don't take the train. I drive in my car. Like I took precautions before this started. So even when it went into effect, it's just to be honest with you, it's one of those things that I think is just inevitable. When you work in hospital, no doubt you put yourself at higher risk. But that shows you how contagious this thing is and how serious people should take it. Just because you don't show symptoms, you might be asymptomatic. You might carry it and be fine. Your immune system might be stellar, and you touch something and or you cough or you sneeze, whatever the case, you do something, you give it to somebody else, you put it in a package or something like that, anything. So
I do the same thing. What you're saying when I come in, like I don't, bring my work clothes home. I wear when I get to my door. I'm lucky enough that I don't have to like walk through the lobby. I literally just, as soon as I cross the door, I literally strip and then throw my clothes in the whatchamacallit. And I have some of the same, I shouldn't even say this. I have wipes, like the PDF, the same wipes, and I literally like wipe the top and the bottom of my shoe as soon as I hit the door. And then I just take my clothes off and I go straight in the washing machine. So I totally understand what you're talking about not contaminating, cross-contaminating, your work clothes into your home. Totally understand. And I agree.
Right.
I'm and the crazy part about it, there's worse things that I feared in Corona. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm cautious like that, because I have to go in rooms sometimes where there's some things where they're gonna wipe you out like in a couple of days. Like you know what I mean? Like there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So that's why I'm so cautious about it. I'm not to downplay the virus. You understand what I'm trying to say? But there's things that, like, if you do the wrong thing and you don't take precaution, it's a death sentence for you. You know what I mean? So,
like what? You work
like
at
I said,
I know
it was having it felt different.
So let's talk about that real quick.
Go ahead.
Talk about, all right, so once you actually got it, and we'll come back to you, Robyn, but once you actually realized you had it, right, what symptoms stuck out the most to make you say, you know what, let me go get checked?
Yeah.
Well, who you want to go ahead, Robyn?
No, you. What kind of symptoms did you have that let you know?
You want me to speak on it?
Yeah. Well, I never had it, so I can't speak on it.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like, your body. And growing up, I was an asthmatic child. So I've had bronchitis several times, and I've had pneumonia twice in my life. And I'm one of those people who their asthma acts up when they get sick. It's worse. So to give you a quick rundown on it, and also to explain to you about this disease too. So bronchitis and pneumonia, if you don't know, they're not the same things. One bronchitis you get because you're sick, or or a virus, and it's basically like a flare up of your lungs. And you can't breathe. It feels like your chest is on fire. It makes it hard to breathe. Pneumonia is an infection in the respiratory system. That's why one you can take antibiotics for, the other you can't. And being that I've had that and I've been sick before, I know, like, I was aware to pay attention to some of the things that happen with this, because this is the main thing that's killing people. People are developing respiratory infections because of this, and they can't survive. So the first thing for me was the fever. Like, that was the first thing. The first thing was the fever and the lethargicness, like just feeling weak.
How high
Like,
did
you
it
feel
go?
like you just my fever only got to about 103, but my fiance's got to like 105.
Oh my gosh.
But that was for brief. Yeah, that was brief. And that didn't last long because we took medication. But if you know anything about your body though, after 104, like, if your temperature is too high, like, it'll fry your brain. You go brain dead. So it was just 2 days of fever for me. Hers was longer, but it was 2 days of bad fever for me. But I'm good at taking care of me, like understanding my body and knowing what I gotta do. And the biggest thing you could do something like this is sleep and eat, even if you're not hungry. Like, you gotta feed your body nutrients. You gotta drink lots of water, room temperature water, no colds, and tea.
Yeah.
Those are the main things that did just to get the fever. The worst part, to be honest with you, for me wasn't the fever. The scariest part for me was when I lost my sense of smell and my sense of taste. I'm a fat boy. That's I'm a fat boy. I can't taste sweets. Like, I was shook. You feel me? The biggest part was when Tiff, she made a pot of ginger, a big pot. She boiled a big pot of ginger so she can make tea. And I put the pot under my nose, and I couldn't smell the ginger.
Wow.
And like that was scary. Like, I couldn't smell it at all, and especially for me because ginger's strong for me, because I don't really like it like that. So it's super strong for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
wow.
I was just like, whoa. Like that was like, I had my friend up who's a chef, and he's like, yeah, I lost my sense of smell once when I first started cooking, and it was like, it's the hardest thing ever, but it made me a better cook. And I was like, well, how long did it last? He was like a month. I was like, what? I was like, well, I hope it's not permanent. And then I started looking up about why people are losing their sense of smell with the virus, because they say that the virus tends to lay mostly in your nasal passage, in the back of your nasal passage.
Well,
so
yeah,
all the nerves that you have, right? Everything, all the nerves you have for your sense of smell, right, is swollen. So so your brain can't get the message through the receptors that this is this smell or this is this taste. So, but like it was bad. So, but I still had to eat though. So I'm like, you know what? Even if you can't taste the food, you still got to eat because your body needs the nutrients. And then that lasted maybe about 4 days for me, maybe 4 or 5 days. And then once it went away, I could only take salty things. And then everything just came back in like one day. Everything just literally came back in 1 day. Thank God. Huh?
You got your sense of smell back.
Yeah, I got my sense of smell and my taste back like after 4 or 5 days. I think I was about 10 days in though before I got tested, because they I was never really bad. Like I said, my fiance, she was bad. Her cough was horrible. Her cough was really bad.
It was dry.
I was actually no. It sounded like she had something in it, but it wouldn't come up. And it was a constant, or like it was bad. It's like I've had asthma, and I never coughed like that. I had pneumonia, bronchitis when I was like 10 years old, and I had the chicken pox all at the same time. And that was oh man, my mother was scared. it was on
death's door.
Yeah, it was like some 1912. Like my baby not gonna make it. Flu types. That's how.
Was your fiance was she tested as well?
So here's the thing. This is the thing where it's coming to the testing, which is scaring people and making people upset. They wouldn't test her. But since I've been to, I'll explain it to you. But since I've been tested, it's changed a bit. Like if you pay attention, like everybody wasn't getting tested. They want to let everybody get tested, but because I'm a healthcare worker, they had to test me.
Yeah.
So they tested me, and the doctor, through all our symptoms, he pretty much was like, you both have it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like, you have it. He was like, but I gotta give you the test because you're a healthcare worker. And for you to come back to work, you have to see if you're positive and then show that you're negative to return back to work. Yeah. So I took the test. They called me back the next day and were like, yeah, you got it. You definitely have it. And you're positive. I mean, they said you're positive, and that was pretty much it. So I started getting better though after that, because the doctor explained it to me. He said there's like 3 levels of sickness. The third level is where we were both at. She was borderline between 2 and 3, but I was definitely on 3. And what they do is they check your oxygen levels.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, pretty much anything under 95, that'll put you.
Your lungs. That means your lungs are in distress. From 95.
Right. Anything under 95. Right. You're in distress and you need oxygen.
Yeah.
Anything below 90, they're gonna have to admit you to the hospital. They're gonna admit you in the hospital. And then they might have to intubate you.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is. Like I said, they changed a lot of things on that, because they changed the process of that, because they were intubating people and not realizing they were spreading it by doing it. So they had to change their protocols on that. Like I said, this virus is going to change them. It's going to change the medical books.
Yeah.
It's going to change the way we live, the way we do everything.
Well, it depends, because you know how they're saying that people are on the fence about whether it's going to come back a second time, like there's going to be a second round of it, because they're thinking that this is going to become seasonal, like the flu. However, at the same time, this is just another, this is another mutated SARS. So
I had a question about that.
What's the question?
I had a question about that. So they're saying it's seasonal. I've heard it's seasonal.
But this can be.
It might be seasonal. It doesn't fit. It does. It can't. Right. It might be seasonal.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel. It doesn't bode well in hot weather, which I don't understand, is because they're the islands. It's not like there are no cases in the islands.
Don't believe that.
They have plenty of cases in the islands.
That's
you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, yeah, you know what? And there's cases in Africa, and there's cases in the Middle East. So that's bull. I've seen most of that on social media though. You don't see that from the CDC or the WHO. You know what I mean? That's like I feel like that's oh God, I don't want to get into it again, but early on I remember seeing a couple of memes saying that, oh, black people are immune to it, or we won't get it, and
you're really basing knowledge off of me.
You know what I'm saying? So I could get into the whole, politically incorrect about that, but I don't want to even get into that. But
Robyn Stern, I just want to interject real quick. You do know the purpose of a meme is a joke, right?
There's a lot of truth to a lot of it too. Just like the whole ginger.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm making sure you're on point to understand that a meme is really just about jokes.
No, I understand that, but there's a lot of truth to a lot of memes, just like there's a lot of truth to a lot of superstitions. So.
No, I'm picking up what she put down.
And a lot of stereotypes, a lot of truth to a lot of stereotypes.
So like, one of the things that was going around on the internet about what would kill the virus. So that whole steam thing. Now, I don't know if it kills a virus, but I do know it helps with respiratory infections.
So what does?
The whole steam thing. So people are boiling pots of water, putting ginger, garlic, orange peels, lemon, lime, and all that. Now, black folks or people of color, we've been using home remedies for years. So it's not new to us. So we pretty much know what we've been doing to fight off stuff that we when we get sick.
That fights off the light stuff though, and like colds and little bacteria and
But it did work for me though.
Systems. No, yeah, and relieve a lot of symptoms. Yeah, no, definitely. I don't doubt that. But as far as a cure, then everybody would have,
Yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah, there's some things that need science, and there's not enough holistic crap that's ever gonna some shit you need drugs. So I don't know except this, because this one you don't even need drugs. You just need to, just like you said, maintain maybe a little Tylenol to combat the fever, and then a lot of warm water like teas and things like that, because the vessels in your lungs clog with this disease. Right. So there was no drug.
You're not getting enough oxygen. Enough oxygen in your blood system, in your bloodstream. So it's that, and that causes all type of different problems for you. So it's not a good look. But this is definitely it's serious. I don't think a lot of people have not taken it serious as well as they should. But
that was my
I think the biggest part, like I said, is it's not so much what the virus does to you, because that also depends on your internal health. But the fact that it's so contagious, like it takes nothing.
Yeah, because they said
that's the hardest part, and then not knowing if it's like you said, like it's in the virus or not. If I had it, does that make me immune now? Like, will I get it again?
That's what they're trying to figure out now.
Part of me believes that you can.
Yeah, well,
I think part of me thinks you can.
Yeah, that's the catch, because if they're saying that it's seasonal, I would think that you won't get it again. No, if they indicate that it's seasonal, then that means you can get it again, just like the flu. Everybody's had the flu more than once. But then, but then just like you said, there are a lot of people saying that you develop the antibodies and then maybe you won't get it again. So I don't know. Is it going to take everybody to have it in order for us to get past this, or do we just have to brace ourselves for like 10,000 deaths every couple of months? Because it's if they're expecting it again in September, that's not even a freaking year. So who knows
for lack of better words, this disease, this virus sounds like it's one of those it's called thinning the herd. I don't know if you're aware with that term.
I was thinking the same thing with depopulation and all that stuff. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, well.
So since you said you're about 90%, I guess full capacity. Let me ask: are you experiencing anything with that 10%?
Nah, I just don't feel like myself. That's why I said 90%. And part of me doesn't know that's because. So part of me, I don't know if it's the virus or it's because I've slowed down everything I do so much, because I'm not like, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? I mean, just like being quarantined, like you sick, the only way for you better is to kill all activities, rest, and take vitamins and feed yourself. But at the same time, a body in motion is a healthy body. You know what I mean? Like you gotta move, you gotta get up, you gotta do things for your body to stay healthy, just on a regular basis. And as you get older, the less you do, the less your body starts shutting down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like your body stops doing things. It's like you don't need to do this.
Don't use it, you lose it.
Your body's like, if we don't need to do this, then we don't need this. So I feel lethargic. Wake up in the morning, my body's still a little achy. Right. So my body's still a little achy. And part of me is like, well, could I do some exercise, stretching and things of that nature? Is the time. Like, I don't know it's the right time. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to listen to my body right now. So that's why I said I'm not 100%. Like, if I had to take off and run after something, I'm gonna start coughing. I know that still. Like, I could still.
Do you ever go outside at all? Do you ever go outside at all? Yeah.
Yeah. Just to let our listeners know, we are recording.
Can you hear me, Steve? I can see you.
Yeah, we're recording
Yeah, we
our
can.
show via Zoom. So we are calling it in. Once again, this is the
Say it again.
edition of Rat Pack Media. So everybody is in their respective homes. So Robyn Stern, could you go again with your question? I don't think you caught it.
Yeah. Do you ever? God bless you.
At Rona.
You breaking up.
All right.
Think
Did you just ask me, have I been outside? Do I go outside?
Yeah. Do you go outside at all for like a little bit of fresh air?
All right, just give it a minute. He'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, this is Rat Pack Media, Corona edition, quarantine edition.
So I'm only going outside for 2. You heard, Steve? You there?
Okay, go ahead. Go again.
Say it again.
Oh, okay. Now, I thought you was dropping a promo real quick.
Oh no, because they got quiet, so I was just using space.
Okay. No, so yeah, I've been outside. So I follow what the doctors said to do for a certain time. So once I felt I had it, to be honest with you, I didn't go outside until I went to the emergency room. And I was about maybe 10 days in of being sick when I went to the hospital. So I went to the ER, and then I didn't go back outside until I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up stuff, which was like 3 days later. But when I did go out, I put on a mask and gloves. And to be honest with you, I didn't do it for myself. I did it so I don't infect other people. And I was aware of, I try not to touch too many things, really just go for my car, back to wherever I was going in and out, try not to touch anything and just, be aware of my surroundings. Now, I wasn't coughing, so it wasn't that bad, but I still kept my mask on. But now though, I'm cleared to go outside and, do normal things, but I still keep that to a minimum. I only go out if I have to. I to the supermarket, like I said, go to the pharmacy. I had to go to Home Depot today. And most of these places are following social distancing now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I went to Home Depot a week ago, and they had a line to get in. A couple of the places, yeah. I hope you're not one of those people. You better not be one of those people who take off your gloves and you leave it outside and you throw it on the floor. The people have been polluting with their freaking gloves. Have you heard about that? Throwing your gloves.
What's crazy? What's crazy about that? I was like, I gotta clean my car out because I'm looking at the passenger side. I got mad balled up gloves.
Well, at least you're not polluting, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But no, I'm aware that
fiance.
Yeah, how is she?
She's getting better. I would say today is the first decent day. Every other day before that, though, I'm on a borderline. Like, all right, we checking her oxygen levels, listen to how she, coughs, and that was the other thing too, like not sleeping, because I'm worried that if she goes to sleep and she's snoring because of this, and she stops snoring, I wake up because I don't know if she stopped breathing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because the respiratory side for her was worse than it was for me, a lot. So she's still coughing, but it's not like before. Literally, she was coughing soon as it was time for her to take her medicine. Like, she had to take some, and they were trying to tell us not to take too many cough suppressants, but she had no choice because she was coughing to the point where she couldn't breathe. So it was like clockwork. Like whether it's 4 hours or 6 hours, she got it, and then she couldn't sleep. And she can't, when you have a respiratory infection like that, you can't really lay down on your back, or you can't really lay down.
Yeah.
You got to sit up. That's why hospital beds are the way they are, because you can't get oxygen laying down like that. You breathe better when you sit up.
Right.
So, and if you're not used to sleeping like that, you know what I mean? Like if you ever had surgery or something like that where you can't sleep the way you want to anymore, you know, it bothers you at first. You can't sleep, and if you can't sleep, your body can't heal. So it was tough. Like today is the first day she woke up and she was regular, and like she literally couldn't. I wouldn't let her talk. I was like, you gotta text everybody. You know, wants to talk, I'm like, you gotta text. I know you feel bad, but you can't talk to people. I just want to call her, so I'm like, she can't talk because every time she talks, she starts coughing. She starts coughing, she can't breathe. So today was the first day where she had a decent conversation and she didn't start hacking and coughing up. It's still there, but she's got to finish her meds out though. She's got a couple more days to finish her meds. And hopefully she'll still be better at that. And that's the other thing about this too. Like, once you feel better, don't think you're okay. You have to clear. You have to blue. Because you might not be. Like any other sickness.
Got you. All right. So, is there any advice you can give our listeners about this virus? Like how, like the steps you took to start feeling better on your road to recovery.
So like I said, drink a lot of water. You know, drink a lot of water, warm water, room temperature. It doesn't have to be hot, but room temperature. Drink, you know, a good amount of tea. I would drink a lot. We drink a lot of mint tea with lemon and honey. If you know, honey and lemon are natural cold suppressant. Real honey.
And they're antioxidants.
Fold up. Yeah, not the bullshit. Real honey though. Organic honey, not that bullshit honey that's full of sugar. That's just gonna do the exact opposite and might actually hurt your body more when you're sick.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of honey, sugar, honey, lemon, tea, and rest. You know, rest. Take your, you know, Tylenol until that fever kicks out. Just be aware of it. Like I said, mostly just rest.
That's what I was gonna ask.
We drink a lot of broth.
Let me ask you
a lot of broth, mostly soups for the first couple of days. Vegetables, you know, whatever you want, carrots, garlic, potatoes, you know, nothing that's gonna form mucus. Anything that's gonna make you get mucus in your system. Period. I don't care how much you want it, how bad you want it.
Let me ask you
milk, butter, cheese, anything like that.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever, how much Tylenol did you take? Because were you ever concerned that, oh my gosh, I'm taking this for several days, I might overdose on it? Not so much overdose because you can't, you know, get high, but you know, it might be a little bit too much for your kidneys. Were you ever worried about that? Like, how much did you take?
No. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. So when you taking Tylenol, you gotta worry about your kidneys and your liver.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much for me, it was for her. Because the amounts of Tylenol you were telling her to take at one point was ridiculous. And I understood why, because they were pretty much like, you gotta kick that fever. And that was the thing, her fever lasted like 7 days. Like, she was still getting fever. I only had fever the first 2 days. Her fever was still for like a week. So, and we were both worried about that. So that went based upon how much she took, went based upon how high her fever was, to be honest with you. Once her fever started to drop lower, then she stopped taking as much, you know. Because you're only supposed to take Tylenol until your fever breaks. Yeah. You know, that's it. You're supposed to stop. So that's a good question.
You can only take like 8 a day if you're supposed to have, say if you had the 200 milligrams, even then you're only supposed to have like 8 a day total.
Nah, it was more. So it was more than that. So they wanted like 500, 600 milligrams in each dose.
And how?
4 times a day.
4 times?
Wow. 4 times a day.
Wow.
6 hours.
A day?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot, dogs.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Ooh.
And then here's the wild thing. So Now all of the medicines, so like the cough medicines, they have aspirin. I mean, they have, I can't remember the Aticepta, whatever the medical term for it is, but they're like Theraflu, NyQuil, or Dayquil. They have it in there as well. So you gotta be cognizant of that too. You know what I mean? You taking a Tylenol for the fever, and you taking a cough suppressant for the cough, and it has Tylenol in it as well. So you have to watch how many milligrams you're taking. I don't think some people are aware of that either. Yeah, you got to be aware of that. Like you got to read the labels on that medicine. You can't just be taking stuff just to take it, and you beat the virus, and now you got bad kidneys. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And you know what? People should, if they only just think about it, about what they're taking, because all of the things that you mentioned, other than the Tylenols, like the NyQuils, like Vicks, all of those are stuffy, achy. Once you hear achy, you know that those are going to be NSAIDs. Those are non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory drugs. So even if it's not Tylenol, all of those things that are helping to combat whatever achy or fever or pain that you have, or even congestion too, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's just that those also do other things. They also just alleviate other symptoms as opposed to Tylenol.
They have a lot of the same drugs in them. Some just have a little bit dosage more of this, so they can call it. They say this treats this, or they just treats that. You have to be aware that what you put in your body. And the crazy part about it is, when you feel like crap, sometimes you don't take the time to look at that. You just want to feel better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a pill popper myself. I'm like, when I'm in pain, I'm like, give me something, give me anything. Give me drugs. I can't take it.
Motherfucker, you pop pills just to smile. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't pop opiates, okay? Just insects.
All right, so Sid, let me ask you, any alcohol consumption during this time?
No.
No alcohol. None of the Southern or the West Indian remedies that we call for that require a shot of something with this.
Better not.
None of that. It's not for this. You know what I'm saying? It's not for this. Not this particular one. There's some others that it works well for, but I don't think it's for this one. Listen, not to call nobody grandma or mama allowed. Do whatever you feel suits you, but I don't recommend it. And we have not. She was on the borderline of doing it. I was like, no, there'll be no alcohol anyway. And explaining why people do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you take the alcohol. The alcohol is to help. The same. It's certain same purposes like Vicks. You know what I'm saying? To open up those air passages so you can breathe. But on the other end, though, alcohol is not good for you when you're sick. Like, your immune system is down. It actually compromises it.
It actually makes it worse.
It makes it worse. So there's been no alcohol consumption, and there's been no cigars, my dude. I'm in a cigar group, and I get 1,000 pictures every day of everybody puffing away and doing whatever.
I'm in the same group.
Nah. But the thing about it is to be honest with you, me and you, Steve, we're cautious about a lot of things on that, So before this even got to be a thing, I was just like, I'm a chill. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a fall back, I'm a chill. I think I had one drink a week before that, and that was it. And it wasn't even a real solid drink. I just had some frozen orange juice and some vodka, and that's it.
Screwdriver. You had a screwdriver.
But nah, I had a frozen screwdriver pretty much. But there's no alcohol consumption, no cigar smoking, brother.
Let me ask you this. Do you have an oximeter at home to measure your oxygen while you're home, or you are already so far gone that you don't have to check anymore?
Yes.
To which one? That you have one, or that you don't?
No, so we bought one. We were talking to our family members, and my mother has respiratory issues herself, period. So she suggested it. My fiance's family members suggested it. So we actually went on they bought one for her. We couldn't find any. They were all sold out on Amazon. Not a lot of drugstores had them just because all this is going on. So a lot of people are purchasing them. But we found one, found a drugstore. We got one. My sister actually bought one. And the wild part is when we went to the hospital, when we like, all right, we got to go to the hospital now. The doctor was going to give us one. The doctor was going to give us one because he was like, they were like, you need to monitor that. Or we already bought one. He was like, good. So you guys already had the curve. So yeah, this is how I was able to monitor her oxygen levels. Like my oxygen levels never fell below like 96, 97. Like so even when I wasn't feeling well. Like I said, it wasn't respiratory as much as like I had slight congestion, but it wasn't as bad for me as it was for her. So her oxygen levels, it was really when she started coughing. And her heart rate, that's the other thing people you gotta pay attention to as well. Yeah. Like your heart rate can't get out of control. So there was a couple of times where I was like, nah, we're gonna go right now. There's several times I'm like, we're gonna go right now. But the oximeter was definitely a lifesaver and definitely a tool that's necessary when you know you have it. Like when you know you have it, those are the two things you gotta, like you said earlier, anything below 95, you need oxygen. If they stay below 95 for too long, then you need to go to the hospital. Anything below 90, like you need to go ASAP. Yeah. Like you might die. So don't play around with anything below 90.
Yep. Do you think you passed it on to her? How do you think it got into the house? How do you think she got it? Do you think you passed it on to her? Like, because you got it first.
We got two theories. So we kind of had it at the same exact time. So there's two theories. I don't know if my son actually got it, and because my son was sick like a week before I was sick, and it was in and out a week and a half before I was sick, and it was out of his system in like 3 days. He was sick for like 3 days. That was it, and then he was good. But he's 17 years old, so He's 16, so
there's not a lot of babies with it either. Not a lot of little kids. It's mostly adults that are having it. And and it's so funny that you say that because one of my girlfriends, her son, her whole family got it, which was scary. The daughter had it first, and she had told her 10-year-old son, 9 to 10-year-old son, to stay in the house, stay in the room with her, just to keep her away from the daughter. And she had already, passed it on to the son. So then the son started to develop, and then he's in the bed with the mother. So then he gave it to her. So all of them at the same time had it. So that was a nightmare in itself. But just like you said, the son, 10 years old, only had it for a couple of days, and then he was fine. While her and the daughter are still like struggling, trying to get past these symptoms right now. Still.
Well, I'm not the only healthcare worker in my house. So my sister-in-law is a healthcare worker too. So my thing was, and she's going back and forth to work. So we couldn't sit. We didn't know if it was my son, and he spread it to everybody else because she got sick after him. But she never had the crazy symptoms that everybody else. So she didn't have to get tested at first, and her symptoms went away, and then me and my fiance got sick. Like I was sick one day, and the next day she was sick. But I knew I was sick. Like I know when my body is not right. I pay attention to that, especially since I work in a hospital. I'm always cognizant of that because we work crazy hours sometimes. So if I don't feel well, I don't do overtime. You know what I mean? Like I don't push my body past the limit that it needs to go, especially now that I'm getting older. Steve know me, he know I'm Haymon. So I try not to do that. Yeah. So I try not to push myself, like that anymore because I just want to make sure that I'm healthy. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, my biggest fear is I don't want to go. I'm a karate man, so I don't want to go out like a sucker. I'm not gonna die like a sucker. When I die, it's gonna be vainglorious.
Like a G, right? Like a G.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I guess we could wrap from here. Before we wrap, any last word of advice for the folks, Mr. Sin?
Yeah, man. Everybody, stay healthy. Listen, if you were listening in earlier, just stay healthy. If you don't have it, stay inside. Stay away from those to protect yourself. Follow the protocols, and take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. Drink lots of water. Period. Even if you're not sick, do all those things. Take care of your physical being so you don't get sick. And if you do get sick, it won't ravish your body. And if you are sick, take care of yourself. Isolate yourself from those who aren't sick. And everybody. I think we need to tap into a more humane side. Don't think about yourself during this time. Think about the older folks. Think about the children. This is how we all survive this and we make it better. It's about thinking about each other, expressing empathy and just being one, and especially for, not to get political or racial, but especially for us as people of colors. This is gonna hit us hard because we live in condensed places and cities. It's gonna hit us hard. Our numbers are gonna be crazy, just like there is with every other disease and every virus, anything that else comes out, because we don't get the support that we always need.
Right.
So I say best that we take care of ourselves and take care of each other. Look out for your friends and your family. Like if you're like my mother can't. She can't go out, so I take care of those things for her, and I'm also cautious about how I handle stuff and give her stuff and things back and forth. Right. So that's my message.
All right. Well, Mr. Sin, I really wish that this reunion could have been under better circumstances, but this is the times that we're in at the moment. So with that being said, we're gonna close the show. I am the dark-skinned marksman, J-Steed, and she is
Robyn Stern.
And he is.
Hey man, Sin Damone, aka also Grande, ya tu sabe. You already know.
Yeah, baby. Rap Back Media, and that's a wrap. Good night.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.